Imagine this. Deep beneath the icy waves of the Atlantic Ocean, a silent steel monster glides through the darkness. No sunlight, no escape, just pressure, metal, and fear. A single mistake here could start a world war. Welcome to the hidden battlefield of the Cold War submarines, the fear beneath. Before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because today, we're going inside the secret world of the submarines that nearly ended humanity without ever firing a single shot. The Cold War wasn't fought with tanks on the battlefield. It was fought with whispers, codes, and hidden submarines beneath thousands of meters of water. After World War II, the world split into two, the United States and the Soviet Union. Two superpowers locked in a deadly game of chess. But instead of a chessboard, they used the oceans. Each submarine carried enough nuclear missiles to destroy entire cities, even countries, in minutes. And yet, no one could see them. They were ghosts in the deep, ready to end the world at any second. These weren't ordinary submarines. They were floating nuclear fortresses, massive machines like the Soviet Typhoon-class, the largest submarines ever built, longer than a football field and taller than a 5-story building. Inside, the crew lived in a world of metal, narrow corridors, recycled air, and constant noise of machinery. No sunlight, no fresh air, only red emergency lights and the endless hum of the reactor. Imagine living like that for months, never knowing if you'd return to the surface. The deeper you go, the more terrifying it gets. Every 10 meters adds another ton of pressure on every inch of the submarine's hull. A single crack, and it's over in seconds. But even that wasn't the worst fear. The real fear came from above. Enemy submarines, sonar pings, and underwater drones. Always searching, always listening. One wrong move, and your location was exposed. At that moment, it wasn't just a game of hide and seek. It was a race for survival. Because if discovered, the enemy's torpedo wouldn't just destroy one submarine. It could trigger a nuclear war. They called them the Men of Silence. Hundreds of sailors locked inside steel tubes, buried beneath the sea for months. Their mission was simple: stay hidden, stay ready, and never be found. But in truth, their lives were anything but simple. Inside those submarines, time had no meaning. There was no sunrise, no sunset, only the steady ticking of the ship's clock and the echo of your own heartbeat. The air was thick with recycled breath. Food came from cans. Privacy didn't exist. Every sound mattered. Every vibration was suspect. Even a dropped wrench could give away their position to the enemy above. And yet, in that crushing silence, these men carried the power to destroy the world. Each submarine carried nuclear missiles, weapons strong enough to erase entire nations in minutes. The men aboard knew that if the order ever came, they wouldn't just be launching missiles, they'd be ending civilization itself. One wrong signal, one misread radar, that was all it would take, and it almost happened. In 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, a Soviet submarine named B-59 was cornered by American warships near Cuba. Depth charges exploded around it. The crew, cut off from Moscow, believed war had already begun. Inside that submarine, temperatures hit 45 degrees Celsius. Oxygen ran low. Panic spread. The captain ordered a nuclear torpedo to be armed. All that stood between peace and nuclear war was one man, Vasily Arkhipov, who refused to authorize the launch. His calm decision in that moment saved the world from disaster. One heartbeat away from global annihilation, stopped by a single act of reason. But that wasn't the only close call. In 1961, another Soviet sub, the K-19, suffered a catastrophic reactor failure deep in the Arctic. Radiation poured through the ship. Crew members died trying to keep the reactor cool, knowing they wouldn't survive. They sacrificed themselves to prevent a nuclear explosion that could have triggered a global war. Their courage became legend, but their story was hidden for decades. Every mission was a psychological battlefield. The crew lived in constant fear. Fear of detection, fear of the sea, fear of making the wrong choice. Even when they surfaced, the ocean wasn't their biggest enemy. It was the weight of what they carried inside. The Cold War submarines never fired a single nuclear missile in combat. Yet, their presence alone kept the world in balance. They were the ultimate deterrent. Silent, invisible, unstoppable. They made sure that neither side dared to press the red button first. Today, many of those submarines rest at the bottom of the ocean. Rusted, forgotten relics of an age when fear ruled the waves. But the lessons they left behind still echo beneath the surface. That power without control is chaos, and fear can be the deadliest weapon of all. So next time you look out at the open sea, remember, somewhere in that endless blue, men once waited in silence, carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. and the fear of ending it in their hearts. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because some histories are too deep to be left buried.